What up, book nerds? I'm Ursula, your friendly neighborhood passionista, and welcome to the Bookala Review. I love tea. Anybody else like tea? It's glorious. Anyways, today we're reviewing Love Under Quarantine by Kylie Scott and Audrey Carlan. Carlan. I think that's how it's pronounced. If it's not pronounced correctly, I'm so sorry, Audrey. I love your work. Anyways, this book is super fun, and I'm completely obsessed with it. I think I've read it like 3 times already. It's a super quick, easy read, and it has all the toe-curling yumminess that I love in a good, fluffy romance novel. Because let's face it, I love fluffy romance novels. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm a girl that likes her fluff and likes her romance and likes her little naughtiness in her book. Don't be ashamed. Y'all know you like it. Anyways, so this book, obviously, as you can guess, is all about 2 people finding love during this crazy time of COVID-19. So, let's get to the story. Our book is about 2 characters named Evan and Sadie. They live in like the San Francisco Bay Area. He is a football player and she is a romance novelist. I love that she's a romance novelist because I love the way her mind works. I imagine if I was a romance novelist, which in my head sometimes I swear I am, even though I know I'm not. And if I was one, I would think exactly the way Sadie does. It's great. I really think Kylie and Audrey transferred what anyone would imagine a romance novel's mind works into this book, into this character. It's awesome. She's so funny. Like, the character is great. I can't go on enough about this character. Let's face it, if you've seen my other episodes, you know I kind of get attached to characters, and I love my characters, and I love me some Sadie and Evan. They're great. All right, Evan. This character is delicious. Really, he's delightful. He is exactly what you're kind of looking for in a short, quick, fluffy read, which is you want a guy who used to be a bad boy, but now he's looking for something more and is going through something really hard, but he's actually a really good guy and a really good catch. So there's that. Anyways, so back to the story. They are in the San Francisco area, and Evan is staying at his friend Jake's house because Jake is with Doctors Without Borders or something. He's off saving people, and so he has to be there to take care of his cat, and he gets stuck there when the quarantine comes down. And Miss Sadie lives next door, and since she's a romance novelist, she works from home. See, how they meet is this. She hears him one day bitching on the phone. She's not sure what's going on, but it kind of has her inspired for a story, so she starts to write a romance story about quarantine. And he's actually yelling because he's going through a crisis. Like, right now, he's in trouble of getting kicked off the team because apparently he tests positive for steroids or something, and he's freaking out. And he's also stuck in a strange apartment with a cat he doesn't like, so obviously he's not handling it too well. But anyways, one day they are both out on the balcony, and he is out there drinking and singing a song, and she comes out and is like, hey, you're singing it wrong. And they kind of strike up a conversation and sparks fly. So for the next couple of days, you know, they're talking to each other and things are going pretty well. And so they decide that they're gonna go grocery shopping together. And so they do. And it's adorable. What I really like about this book is it kind of picks up on the relationship kind of quickly, which I like that in a romance novel. I like it when my characters get together quickly because I want the juice, I want the romance, and this book gives me exactly that. It gives me the angst, it gives me the lust, it gives me everything I want. It's delightful. Where was I? Oh yes. They go grocery shopping. And after they go grocery shopping, Miss Sadie gets a dreaded phone call that her dad might be sick and they're not sure what's going on. And she kind of freaks out. And so she calls Evan and they have a moment on the phone together. And they end up having a very naughty moment on the phone together. It's toe curling and really good. I actually really liked how they incorporated romance and the quarantine. I think they did it very, very smartly because in the story, they talk about how they both really like each other, but they don't want to risk infecting each other. So they decide to wait 14 days before they touch and they see each other. This all happens after the naughtiness on the phone. It's great. So they're trying to get through the 14 days. And in those 14 days, they take more time to get to know each other, which is really, really cute. See, since he's a football player, he's really into working out and eating healthy. And since she's a romance novel, she's really not into that. I mean, she does yoga, which is really cute. They do yoga out on the balcony together. It's adorable. They tease each other. It's great. And so what ends up happening is he ends up like cooking all kinds of meals for her and gives her a hard time about her eating habits, but at the same time she challenges him, and I love that. I do. I love that. I love the cute quirkiness they added to this book. And I really like the fact that the characters grew so close so quickly. Like I said, I love it when my characters get together very quickly, and this book does that, so thank you very much, ladies. I appreciate it. All right, so let's get to the good stuff when they finally get to meet. Well, 2 days before they're supposed to actually meet face to face, they have a huge fight because she finds out that all of her book signing schedule has been canceled, so her finances are going to take a hit. And then she gets a call from her parents and she tells them she's seeing Evan, and they know who he is and they know about the scandal, and they're not really big fans of his. So as you can guess, they don't take the news very well. It's really funny. And so they have a huge fight on the balcony after she gets off the phone with her parents and after she's been drinking a little bit. And the day after, like, she avoids him and he ends up calling his friend who he is living in the apartment of. And that's when his friend is like, hey, dude, Evan, how would you feel if you were having money trouble and Sadie said, hey, it's okay, I'll take care of you? As a man, you're going to be like, no, I'm the man, I can take care of myself. And that got Evan thinking, maybe I shouldn't reacted the way I did. Probably wasn't cool, kind of pissed her off, and I like her, and I haven't even gotten in her pants yet, so maybe I should rethink this. So, after he realizes this, his friend drops a bomb and tells him he's gonna go to Italy to help with the virus. And Evan really doesn't like the idea that his friend is gonna go to Italy, but at the same time, his friend's a doctor, so he understands. So after he gets off the phone with his friend, he decides he knows how to make it up to Sadie. So what he does is he makes her like 13 dozen chocolate chip cookies because she's obsessed with sweets. I have to say, I love that about Sadie. I love that most of her diet is candy because I have a really bad sweet tooth. So I think that's awesome. I love that. I love the fact that Kylie Scott writes characters that aren't afraid to eat and that are a little bigger. I love that about you, Kylie. I feel you, girl, and I love the fact that you write it. So, right on. Anyways, Where was I? Oh yeah, the cookies. So he makes her the cookies and they make up. And then the next day, dun dun dun, day 14. So finally, after 14 days of them talking on the phone or standing 6 feet apart or talking on the balcony or video chatting and naughty video chatting, they finally get to see each other. But what she does, I love the fact that Sadie does this. She shows up at the front door dressed like a homeless person with all her stuff and just moves in with him, which I think is great. And I have to say, when they finally get to touch each other, it was the sweetest moment. I loved it so much. Like, they just hold each other and they admit they love each other. It's so sweet. Oh my God, it was so sweet. I love it. I think the first time I read that part like twice because I loved it so much. It was so sweet and it kind of touched my heart. Then we get to the naughtiness. You guys did a great job. It is some toe curling, belly clenching deliciousness. I loved it. It was everything I love in a good love scene. You guys did awesome, which I have to say, I've read some of both of your stuff, so I had no worries. I knew you guys would do good. You did great. Well, after that, they're living together for a couple of days, and what happens? Evan finds the book that Sadie has been writing on her laptop, and guess what it's about? It's about a love story about an athlete and a romance novelist who fell in love. When Evan sees this, he freaks out because he's like, hey, this is our story. I already live in the spotlight. I've had drama going on because people think I'm drugging. I don't need this. This is not cool. So what he does is he just gets up and he goes next door to her place just to give them some time. And what do you guys think Sadie did? Please, we all know what Sadie did. This is a romance novel. I love that it's so predictable. I do. What she does is she deletes all the copies but one, and she goes to him in the middle of the night and brings him the last copy and tells him she's so sorry and that she totally understands why he's upset and that she will never publish it, which I thought was great. And then they have an awesome, awesome makeup scene. It was good. It was really good. And after that, the next day, they get a call from the police. They've discovered who drugged him, which is some girl named Mindy, and he was set up by his coach of all people to get him kicked off the team. What kind of crap is that? I mean, seriously. It's just not cool. After that, they live happily ever after. Okay, guys, let's be honest. This novel, it was just delicious. It was one of those, like I said, it was a cute, fluffy novel. And it was really delicious. And I love the fact that it was all about quarantine. In a time like these, we need moments where we get just a little bit of joy and happiness. And this novel reminds us of that. At least it reminded me of that. And you guys just did a good job. I loved it. I really did. And I kind of have an idea for you guys. I think you should write another book, but from his friend Jake's point of view. But that's only partly because I want another book in this whole quarantine universe. So it's just an idea. I'm just throwing it out there. But like I said, I get attached to my characters and I always want to know what comes next. So if you happen to throw Evan and Sadie in there, you won't get any complaints from me. Just saying. Overall, this book was great. And now it's time where I judge it on a scale of 1 to Passion Fix worthy. Now, I already know for a fact that Allie of Passion Fix has already read this book. I don't think Lauren has, but I know Allie has. So, and I know she loved it. So I have to say, this is definitely a 10. This would make such a great Passion Flicks movie. And they could totally film it sometime soon. Because it's only really like 2 people. And yeah, they go to the store twice, but that won't take much. So Passion Flicks, really consider this one. It's really cute. You could make it soon. And you wouldn't have to worry about having a lot of people. So, 2 birds, 1 stone. Just saying. To Miss Kylie Scott and Miss Audrey Carlan, you guys are awesome. I love your work, and this book was great. It was a fabulous, blah, blah, blah. This book was great. It was a fabulous collaboration, and I totally think you two should do some more. It was really good. And today, my book that deserves honorable mention has to be Lick by Kylie Scott. I recently read it and it was really good. And don't worry, Audrey, I thought of you too. I just recently downloaded your new book and I'm gonna start reading it, so really quite excited about it. All right, ladies and gents, book nerds and passionistas, that is our show. But hey, tune in Thursday, because guess what? We're talking about fanfic. I'm going to share some of my favorite fanfics, and I'm going to talk about some of the platforms I read them on, and what stories and books inspired them. So tune in, book nerds. Love you guys, and stay safe.